After his mother's mysterious death 2 years ago, Helm, a quiet and emotionally broken young man, lives in isolation, consumed by guilt, confusion, and suspicion. His mother had drowned in the lake near their home, but Helm never believed it was an accident. Deep in his heart, he is convinced that his stepmother, once his father's secretary, was behind it. His father married her shortly after his mother's death, and that betrayal shattered Helm completely. Unable to bear the sight of them together, Helm moved into a small tree house in the forest, near the lake where his mother died. That wooden box in the trees became his entire world, a place where he could hide from everything. From there, Helm began watching people through his binoculars, studying them like characters in a story, and writing down everything in his diary, his fears, his thoughts, his loneliness. But one day, everything changed. His stepmother found that diary. Inside, she read about how Helm secretly watched others, including his fascination with her beauty. Shocked but also strangely drawn to him, she went to his treehouse one evening. What followed blurred every line between guilt, desire, and manipulation. She seduced him. Helm, torn between confusion and temptation, couldn't resist. But later, she used it against him, blackmailing him and sending him away to another city, far from home, to keep him quiet. Homeless and heartbroken, Helm arrived in a new city with nothing. No money, no food, no place to sleep. He spent his first night hungry, lying under the cold sky on a rooftop. The next morning, fate placed someone in his path, a woman named Kate. And when Helm saw her face, he froze. Because Kate looked exactly like his dead mother. Terrified and mesmerized, Helm followed her quietly as she walked into a nearby hotel. There he discovered she was the manager. Desperate for survival, he approached her and asked for a job. Kate, noticing his politeness and quiet eyes, offered him work in the hotel kitchen. Days passed. Helm worked hard, washing dishes, cleaning floors, and slowly finding peace in the rhythm of life. Yet every time he looked at Kate, he saw the reflection of his mother. Soon, admiration turned into obsession. After work, he began following her, watching her from a distance, learning her daily routine, where she lived, when she smiled, when she cried. When Kate was out one day, Helm sneaked into her house. Through the window, he noticed the clock tower nearby. From there, her apartment was clearly visible. That night, he secretly moved into the small, abandoned room inside the clock tower, using his binoculars once again. From that hidden room, Helm watched Kate every night, dancing alone, reading, cooking. It was like watching a dream come alive. But one night, that dream cracked. Helm saw Kate's senior manager from the hotel in her apartment. They were laughing, drinking, and kissing. Heartbreak struck him like lightning. Helm later learned that her senior was married with children. Kate was just another secret in his double life. The sight of it reminded Helm of his own past, of how his father had betrayed his mother. Rage and sorrow twisted inside him once again. Days later, Kate offered Helm a promotion to work at the front desk. Slowly, he began to feel happy again. But when the same senior caught Helm climbing the tower stairs one evening, he threatened him, calling him a pervert and warning him to stay away. Helm stood up to him, blackmailing him back with what he knew about his affair with Kate. The two made a silent, dangerous deal to keep each other's secrets. On Helm's 19th birthday, Kate found out and decided to surprise him. That night, she, Helm, and another co-worker went to a bar to celebrate. After a few drinks, everyone left except Kate and Helm. They were both drunk, talking, laughing, vulnerable. When Kate offered to let him stay the night at her house, Helm hesitated. She leaned closer, whispering softly, but Helm stopped her. They simply lay beside each other in silence, and for the first time in years, Helm felt peace. The next morning, he nervously asked her on a date. But Kate refused. "Last night was a mistake," she said coldly. "Forget it ever happened." Those words broke him again. But later, Kate changed. One afternoon, she called him into her office, looking at him with soft eyes, and kissed him. That night, they gave in to the emotions they had both been holding back. For Helm, she became his world again. But fate wasn't done with him. One night from the tower, Helm saw Kate's senior yelling at her. In a violent rage, he slapped her. Helm, trembling with anger, crashed through the skylight to protect her. A fight broke out, but the senior screamed out the truth, that Helm had been spying on Kate from the tower all along. Kate's face went pale. "Is that true?" she whispered. Helm nodded. "Yes, but I wasn't watching you like that. I watched you because you remind me of my mother." But Kate, heartbroken and disgusted, told him to leave. He lost his job. That night, Kate found Helm sitting outside the hotel, drenched in rain, waiting for her. Something in her heart softened. She took him home. There she asked quietly, "Why me, Helm? Why were you watching me?" And finally he told her everything. The death, the suspicion, the loneliness. "When I look at you," he said, tears streaming down his face, "I see her. My mother. You look just like her, and when you smile, I feel like she's alive again." Kate said nothing. She just held him as he cried. Later she put on a dress, his mother's dress, that he had kept. When Helm saw her standing there, wearing that memory, he broke down completely. The next day Helm's father and stepmother arrived in the city. The police had given them his address after the complaint he filed years ago. His father revealed that they were drowning in debt and needed Helm's signature to sell the land his mother had left for him. Helm refused, suspecting another plan by his stepmother. When she insulted his mother again, he lost control. That night, blinded by rage, Helm went back home. He tied up his stepmother and dragged her to the lake, the same lake where his mother had died. As she screamed, Helm's shaking hands pushed her toward the water. But before it was too late, something inside him broke. He pulled her out, crying, begging for forgiveness. That's when his father appeared and told him the truth. His mother hadn't been murdered. She had taken her own life, she had been deeply depressed, and no one could save her. Helm collapsed, realizing the monster he had become because of his own pain. He apologized to his father and returned to the city to see Kate one last time. But when he did, Kate told him gently, "You're young, Helm. Too young. I've never had a good relationship with anyone, and right now I don't want one. If you still feel the same, come back a few years later." Helm smiled through his tears. He didn't argue. He just nodded, walked away, and disappeared into the streets, feeling something he hadn't felt in years: peace. As he walked into the golden light of morning, he whispered softly to himself, "One day, I'll come back for her." And with that thought, filled with pain, love, and quiet hope, the story ends. Some stories fade with time, but this one echoes through history. If this moment moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because history only lives when we remember it.